So for today's episode, we're going to show you guys how to install this rim tape that I have all around the bike, which look fantastic. And I'm also going to show you how I'm troubleshooting the clutch. Hopefully we can get it resolved and get her on the road. So most of the bike's looking real nice, but I wanted to turn the wheels into something a little bit special. I went on eBay and I found some rim tape. So I got some Ducati specific rim tape. Now they're pretty cheap on eBay, and I'm pretty happy with the results so far. Let me show you the other side of the wheel. Okay, that looks pretty good, right? I'll show you how to put this on. These are one of the more affordable Ducati Monster specific rim tape decal. Now, you get what you pay for because this is actually not the radius of your rim. If you just take this off and put it straight onto your rim, you'll realize it's designed for a smaller diameter rim. Now, there's a way around that. If you look on the other side, here's the trick I did. Now, this looks like it fits. Yes, it does. But what I did is I technically cut the tape and re-established the radius on the alignment. I'll show you guys how to do that now. So on my decal, I decided to cut it about halfway. Luckily, there's a black strip right in the middle of my decal. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it right in the middle, going with the angle, parallel to that. Now I've got a slit between my two faces. My starting point of this decal is going to be right here. So I'm gonna go this way. Alright, so I'm gonna go try to have equal spacing. Get my edge started there. And anytime you're putting a decal, a little bit of stretching and finesse goes a long way. So here's what's happening. Let's put the bike in neutral. As you can see, it starts right up. I'll pull the clutch in, put it in gear, and the bike just dies. What I'm seeing is that the rear wheel starts to spin, overpowering the clutch disengagement, and I'm getting the engine to stall. So that's where I'm at now. My next step, if this bleed doesn't work, is to take the clutch pin assembly out, this thing. Take that out and examine to see what's going on with it. Wish me luck. So let's recap where I am with the clutch troubleshoot. As far as the main problem, what I'm experiencing is I cannot get the clutch pack to disengage. When I put the car in neutral, the bike starts up like normal, everything is good. I put it into gear with the clutch engaged, with the clutch lever engaged, and it just stalls out. So there's a few parts to a clutch, and I'll show you each one and how I'm troubleshooting it. On Ducati Monsters, we have hydraulic clutches. So this hydraulic system, when it's doing this, could be a few things. In here was really disgusting brake fluid, which I've flushed out and bled, so there's no more air or bad fluid in the lines, and I'm still not getting any feedback. There's a small pinhole inside this slave cylinder, I think is what it's called. Either way, there's a small hole in there to determine whether you have any issues there. I've already checked that. I've taken this whole section out, checked the O-ring, there's no issues here. So we know it's not the master cylinder, we know it's not the slave cylinder, we know it's not the expansion in the tubes because it's a stainless steel line. The only thing I can think of is the clutch pack is seized together. The reason I'm thinking that is the bike sat for about 5-6 years, and there could have been some corrosion inside the oil. When I did drain the oil, it didn't look good. There was some discoloration in there, some some odd colors that you don't normally see when you drain oil. It wasn't black, it was kind of segregated. So I'm thinking there might have been some corrosion in the clutch pack. That's why I can't disengage the pack here. So I'm gonna take the right cover off and take a look. To take the right engine cover off, I'm gonna drain the oil for sure, because I'm gonna get a big old mess without it. Take the sensor off and then just go through, take all of the Allens away, or take all of the Allen bolts away, keeping them in order because more than likely they are going to be position specific. So we are going to go from there and give it a shot. Next is going to be this sensor. Then I'm gonna start breaking the cases, the case bolts. So start here. Okay, all the bolts are out. I've got my nice little pattern. I know where I started and I know where the long bolts are, so I can always find where my bolts are gonna be. So don't get nervous if this is the first time you've ever taken a side cover off of an engine. Just be aware of where everything is. Take mental pictures of how everything comes off. This particular side case, it's pretty much just a cover. There isn't any springs or cams or gears on this side. It's not going to be the same for every side cover. So just be aware of what's what, and then move forward. Okay, so let's examine. I have some discoloration on top of my clutch pack here, so that's interesting. Everything here looks about right. I have to be mindful, there's an O-ring here, so I got to make sure that's there when I put it all back together. Everything else is bolted down. I just got to be aware, do not lose that O-ring. And okay, I have a dowel in there, so I got to make sure I get that back in. Okay, now we can work on the clutch pack. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the clutch lever to see if any movement happens on this side. So I'm gonna pull the lever up here and we're gonna look. So looks like I've got sections of my clutch pack that are together and that are not. So let me see if I can make this work. See that? Okay. So that confirms that my clutch pack did seize together. That's why I wasn't getting any movement through it. So I'm going to start tackling that. Next step is to take these bolts out and then we'll go from there. So let's time lapse it. Got all the clutch bolts out. This is what I'm left with. We're gonna just take it apart in layers. Be mindful of the sequence so that you put it all back together. What we're gonna be doing is taking it apart, cleaning it, and putting it back. This clutch assembly only has 8,000 miles on it, so it's a perfectly good clutch pack. It just sat together too long, so that's where we're gonna start. We got our clutch pack here, all taken apart. This is free moving. This is fixed as it should be. Everything else looks about right here. What I'm gonna do now with my clutch pack is go through, wipe each layer, reassemble, put it all back together, make sure it's separating and moving freely. That's where we're gonna start. I got my clutch pack here. I ended up assembling it on the basket. Now we'll torque these down. All right, we're all assembled now. We'll put a new gasket on, put the cover on, bolt it down, and go from there. All right, let's get the bolts cases back on. We'll snug up all the bolts and then put our sensor back in. So that's pretty much it for today. I've run out of time and this is the most I can do. This episode with the rim tape, we troubleshooted the clutch, took it apart, put it all back in there. I wish I had enough time to test ride it, but it's 11 o'clock. I've got to go to bed. My neighbors would hate me if I fired this up and ran around the block. So we'll have to save that for next episode. If you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, comment. I'm really enjoying being able to talk to you guys about the bike, about the project, about different monsters. So stay tuned for the next episode. Hopefully we'll hit the road.